Hey everyone, spring has sprung, and with that, I want to talk about one of my favorite spring movies of all time. Now, there are many spring movies with many different qualities. It could be the elegance and grace of a Jane Austen masterpiece, such as Emma. It could be a baseball movie, which I know for some people, baseball screams summer, but for me, A League of Their Own has always kind of felt like spring. You could also throw in some Technicolor marvels, like Funny Face, which when you look at the incredible color palette and just the vibrancy that Technicolor allowed, you can see why I consider this a springtime movie. It would also be impossible to talk about Technicolor and not mention The Sound of Music, and then even some animated movies like the Disney classic Bambi. But to me, the springiest of all movies is another Disney classic, Alice in Wonderland. Now, I'm really excited to talk about this movie because it is one of my favorite Disney movies, and I feel like it often flies under the radar. In fact, a lot of people don't like it, which we'll get into much later. And for some people, this might be a summer movie, but to me, it screams spring, and I'm going to talk about that throughout this video. And this video is also the first part, hopefully the first part of a series that I will be doing where I will be talking about every movie that I consider 5 stars. But sit back, make some tea. I love tea, especially in the spring. Oh my gosh, make some tea. I got my Wally mug. Look at this beauty. So the first reason why this is a spring movie to me, one of my favorite things about it, is its use of flowers. Now, there are 3 segments of the movie about flowers. The first is at the very beginning when Alice, she's just taken a lay in some flowers, and it looks like the dream. Besides the pollen, I would definitely want to do this because, look, come on. Are we for real? It's too bad that here in the States, we are obsessed with lawns because this just looks perfect. But I hate lawns. That's a video for a different time. But just know, lawns are dumb. Alright, so the second use of flowers is in the golden afternoon segment of the movie. And there's a bunch of flowers in that part, and I'm going to read off some of them here. So there's tulips, morning glories, daffodils, violets, tiger lilies, dandelions, daisies. There's a white rose, a red rose, and some lily of the valleys, and a bunch of other ones. I love flowers. It's a lot of what I do here at school. Well, not a lot. I wish it was more. Yeah, flowers, come on. Who doesn't love flowers? That's why it's the first part of this video, because they're awesome and cool and pretty, and everyone loves them. Unless you're allergic, in which case, I'm sorry. Alright, and then finally, the third part of this movie about flowers is in the maze when they're painting the roses red. Now, I don't love roses. I just said I love flowers. And I do. Roses, however, are not my favorite because they kind of hurt when you poke them and then it takes all the fun out of it. But I always loved this sequence when I was a kid, so I figured I would highlight it here as well. Alright, so the second part of this movie that screams spring is the colors. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Technicolor was very good at getting this spring vibe from movies. And especially in animated movies, they could really go all in. When you look at anything from this movie, the colors are so simplistic. Like, take Alice's dress. It's just blue and white. But the colors are so loud at the same time, but they're not, deafening. They're soft. And to me, spring is determined by colors. Spring is the most colorful season. Anyone who says summer, that's wrong. It's spring. And it would also be impossible to talk about Alice in Wonderland without mentioning the incredible work from Mary Blair. Now, if you don't know who Mary Blair is, you should definitely look into her. She was a Disney artist during the 50s and 60s and a bit of the late 40s as well. And she had this understanding of color that I don't think anyone has had or will ever have again. She was truly unique and one of a kind, and she was special. She also worked on Cinderella and Peter Pan. Honestly, she deserves her own video, so at some point she'll probably get one. But her concept drawings for this are among the greatest for any Disney movie ever. I mean, this movie was what it was because of her, and she doesn't get her attention, so I figured I would give her some here. So the third and final reason why this movie to me screams spring is because I hate winter. Winter irks me to my core. It's cold, it's not fun, there's no colors. Like, I think people... Hold on. We're going on a side quest here. People who like winter are insane. Like, I don't get it. The sun's out for, like, not nearly as long as it should be. It's cold, so even when the sun's out, you can't enjoy it because you can't feel any part of your body. And so to me, the reason why this movie feels like spring is because spring is a wonderland, right? It's the first time of the year when everything's bright and everything's coming back to life and there's colors everywhere. It's the first escape from a cruel and horrible winter. You know, maybe you like winter and I ruffled some feathers, but I mean, come on, spring. People who are like, I like winter more than spring. No, you don't. You like Christmas. You don't like winter. That's different. All right, Christmas is its own thing separate from winter. You don't like winter more than spring. You just want to feel different. Okay? All right. Tangent time is over. I really don't like winter. And I get aggressive about my hatred towards winter. I don't hate many things. I could count on one hand the amount of things I hate. Winter might be 2 of them. I lied. Winter's just 1. But still, on one hand, winter's 1 of them. But now, let's get into why people maybe don't like this movie. The reviews I saw have said it's stupid, nothing matters because it doesn't have a narrative, and the songs are forgettable. Which, one, let's talk about the music in this movie. I feel like Disney music before the 90s and before the Renaissance often goes unnoticed within Disney's music stuff. You know, I think like in the Renaissance and everything since has been really good, but especially in this part of Disney's like filmography in the early 50s, they were cooking in the animated movies like Cinderella, this, and Peter Pan. The music is so beautiful, and I feel like a lot of the people who maybe didn't like the music, you probably didn't like it because you decided you weren't going to. Like, because how can you listen to any of the music in this movie? Like, once you start the movie, listen to the opening title, that music, and you're just like, it takes you to another place. I guess you could say it takes you to Wonderland. And so let's go back to the non-narrative stuff, because yeah, the main complaint is that people are like, well, nothing matters because it's not a full story. I don't care. All right, that's the point. In the context of the movie, everything is a dream. Have you ever dreamed and had any of it make sense? Probably not. I like how it's not narrative. I think that's what makes it different from every other animated movie ever. Right? It's a bunch of little things sprinkled throughout the movie. Do they matter? No. But I think that's what makes it matter. Because if everything doesn't matter at all... Alright, hold on. Let me cook. If nothing matters equally, then theoretically, everything matters because nothing is more important than something else. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Probably not. That's okay. And also, if your complaint is that nothing makes sense, have you read the book? Alice in Wonderland, the book, my remembrance of it from probably 2 years ago is that it didn't make any sense. You know, it's one of those books that you just read, and you know, it's like it's a collection book. It's a compilation. I don't know the other words for it. It's not supposed to be one long narrative structure, but also everything fits in together. So I don't know what people are complaining about, really. I think if you don't like this, it's because you don't like whimsy and joy and fun. You probably like winter too. So strike two. And when I was deciding what I wanted to focus on in this video, I didn't really know, because this was a last minute thing. I was like, I want to talk about this movie because it was one of my favorites growing up, and then I rewatched it a couple weeks ago, and it still hits. I mean, it's still such a beautiful movie. The characters are so unique, I couldn't pick one to talk about, so I didn't really talk about any of them. Maybe in the future they will get their video. And so, yeah, that just about wraps up the video. This might be my favorite Disney movie, animated Disney movie, of all time. No. Probably second. Maybe third. But probably second. It's close between second and third. But yeah, I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed your lovely spring and the ascension from that evil, horrible thing that we call winter. And, yeah. God bless you. Have a wonderful, lovely day. Peace on earth.